of the U.S. Navy. This defendant left the gun he used to kill Chris Kyle, a Springfield .45, and he
All right, so the prosecution is getting underway now in the trial, in the murder trial of the man who's accused of killing the American sniper, as he is now known, Chris Kyle, and his friend Chad Littlefield. Kyle shot 5 times while trying to help another fellow Iraq War veteran, Eddie Ray Ralph, who is being charged with capital murder in both of those deaths. That is Eddie Ray Ralph, as he made his way into the courtroom just earlier this morning. So Chris Kyle's widow, Taya, is among the first witnesses that the prosecution is going to call today. Joined now by Tad Nelson, criminal defense attorney, and Philip Holloway, a former prosecutor. Good to have both of you here. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here this morning. So obviously this is a tragic story. There is no question about whether or not this man pulled the trigger that led to the deaths of these 2 people. The question that remains is his state of mind and how that should pertain to his punishment. Correct, Philip?
That's absolutely correct, Martha. You know, under Texas law, he's presumed to be sane. That means he's presumed to know the difference between right and wrong, and he has the burden of proving to this Texas jury to the contrary. And I do not envy the defense lawyers in this courtroom, because they have the hardest job, because I really don't see a Texas jury buying what Ralph is selling under these circumstances.
Yeah, Tad, when you look into this story, there are reports that he had been drinking, Eddie Ray Ralph, that there were that marijuana was potentially involved, that he had a history of mistreating women and small animals. I don't know how much of that is going to be admissible here. Can you shed any light on that?
You know, some will, some won't, Martha, but, you know, right before the break, we heard a little bit of the opening argument, and the government was talking about using your common sense. But with PTSD, it's everything but common sense. And that's why, you know, just naturally you think, hey, alcoholism, you know, other problems that he was having, using drugs, marijuana, these things with the animals and his girlfriend, those make him seem like an evil person. Absolutely wrong. All those things are consistent with PTSD. And that's the problem. I've been practicing here in Texas 26 years. The problem in Texas is a lot of the investigators in the government, they start with their conclusion and then work their way backwards. In this case, all these things are clear indicators and symptoms of PTSD. They don't help prove their case. Right, well, they actually help the defense.
They may be. In terms of proving PTSD, which is going to be the bar here, Philip, you know, in some instances, it could be argued that he did not really see action in Iraq. He also spent some time in Haiti. He was doing small arms repair in Iraq. Now, I guess it's difficult to ascertain what makes one person come down with PTSD, whether they need to be on the front lines and see combat or not. That's going to be a difficult bar to reach here as well.
Well, I've had some experience in my own practice with people who suffer from PTSD, and homicidal tendencies and things of that nature are not commonly associated with PTSD. So right off the bat, there's significant problems, and this is going to boil down to a battle of the experts, quite frankly. Each side is going to bring medical witnesses, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists in to testify that, you know, the prosecution is going to say he did know right from wrong, even if he had PTSD, and of course the defense will say otherwise. But here's the thing. You know, he had the presence of mind to willingly get in that car with Chris Kyle. He had the presence of mind to pick up the gun. He had the presence of mind to fire it not once, not twice, but 5 times into Chris Kyle, and also to kill his friend. And then here's the real thing. He had the presence of mind to steal his pickup truck. And then he had the presence of mind, and he knew right enough from wrong to run from the police. Guess who runs from the police, Martha? It's people who know they've done something wrong. So whether or not he has PTSD is really not the issue. It is whether or not he knew what he was doing was wrong, and I think the evidence on that point is absolutely clear.
Gentlemen, we got to leave it there. Thank you very much for setting the table for us here. Obviously, just such a tragedy and such a crazy and awful twisted end to the life of Chris Kyle, an American hero. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Martha.
12 minutes.